kind of like Diddy.
That is interesting though, because to a lot of people, 50 is the villain, but I look at 50 as more of an anti-hero. As a person who loves comics, he's more of an anti-hero than a villain.
So you have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
but I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated. So,
guys, this is nuts. Sean Diddy Combs was still filming himself a week before he got arrested, months after the feds had already raided and taken all his tapes. And somehow that footage got to 50 Cent, who's now put it in his Netflix documentary.
I was a party favor.
What does that mean?
I was a party favor. I was somebody you could take off the table.
So you're telling me they set children?
I set children on a table.
Like when you go to a birthday party and they have gift bags for everybody that comes that have candy and toys in them,
Yep.
and they set them on the table. So you're telling me at the freak off parties, they put children on the table instead of gift bags, and then people can do what?
Take you off the table and have to, even though it's against the rules, to do certain things like their full health. Sometimes that's against the rules. Like for me, that was against the rules, but that didn't.
For years, this project sat in the shadows. Some people waited patiently for it to arrive, while others hoped it never would. Now, it has finally been released. The documentary, Sean Combs, The Reckoning, is executive produced by Curtis Jackson, widely known as 50 Cent. It pulls together decades of interviews, archived material, and official records to present a version of Diddy that many viewers say they had never seen discussed so openly. The timing of the release drew immediate attention. The film premiered while Diddy was already under intense public scrutiny, facing several civil claims and a federal investigation. Although he has strongly denied all wrongdoing, the documentary added fuel to an already heated conversation. What made this moment especially striking was not just the claims themselves, but the number of individuals who chose to speak publicly for the first time. Many of these voices had remained silent for years. Their decision to come forward shifted the tone of the discussion and sparked widespread reaction. One segment in particular has drawn the most focus. In that portion of the film, former associates and witnesses describe young individuals who were allegedly influenced or placed into situations they did not fully understand or feel free to leave. These statements are presented as allegations, not confirmed facts, and the documentary clearly notes that official investigations are still ongoing. Even so, the accounts left a strong impact on viewers. The situation has also intensified the ongoing tension between 50 Cent and Diddy. Diddy has publicly stated that he believes the documentary was created to damage his reputation. Netflix, meanwhile, maintains that the project followed all legal guidelines. Curtis Jackson says his goal was simple: to allow information and testimony to be heard and examined by the public.
Speaking about Diddy like they did. Netflix and 50 Cent just pulled the curtain back on one of the most disgusting and powerful men in entertainment, Diddy, and what they reveal is darker than anything I think any of us imagined. Secret hotel room footage, a $200 million money move, new witnesses, and allegations that will change how you think of Diddy forever. This is The Reckoning on Netflix. We're talking about it today. Welcome, everybody. I'm Tom Zenner. This is Tom Zenner Scandal. You're watching 1 Degree of Scandalous. I'm the co-host along with the one and only Kato, K-Train, Kaylin. Kayla, I want to get into this right away. You and I both watched this thing, as did millions and millions and millions of people. I got to tell you, I couldn't wait for it to end. It made me sick. It disgusted me. You know, usually a Netflix doc is so captivating, and this was so well done. Kudos to 50 Cent. You are a hero in my mind, 50 Cent. You really are. We're going to get into this, but I couldn't wait for it to end. I just had a sick feeling about me that this guy, Diddy, got away with this crap for 35 years. And we're going to get into all of the new revelations today and talk about potential implications. But how did you feel watching this thing?
Well, I'll tell you what, Tom, I had no interest in Diddy at all. I had nothing. It was like another Diddy story. As soon as I watched the opening scene of him in the hotel room talking, I was captivated. I feel like it was 50 Cent was like on SEAL Team 6. He went in, he got the footage from this videographer, and it was so compelling. It is, like you said, it is so well done. And all 4 episodes, you're on the edge of your seat. I watched it in one sitting, which I rarely do. And I'm telling you, my opinion completely is different of Diddy. I thought, oh, this guy's probably okay. I met him one time or maybe twice at the Playboy Mansion. I would not want to have any association with this person at all. The way that he used, which we're going to get into, how he used his friends. It's just like everything you're taught when you grow up of being a good person, he did the opposite.
Yeah. Everybody he touched, he destroyed. If you came into Diddy's periphery and his life, your life is over as you know it. You were facing violence, potential death, extortion, entrapment. This guy, and you know what? The doc did a good job of showing how he evolved, right? And his background, which doesn't excuse anything. But I learned a lot from this that we're going to get into. And I guess, Cato, before we get into like the top 10 things that we're going to reveal from this. And by the way, you don't have to be a hip hop or rap band. This is a crime. This is true crime at the core. And we're dealing with a true monster. All right. Ryan Murphy might have his next one right here. Monster Diddy. But Cato, do you think they have Netflix available in prison? Because, I wonder if, what the reaction with his prison mates are going to be when they see this.
That's a great question. I think that any visitor coming in is probably telling him, if he hasn't seen it, and this is probably their last visit to see him, saying, you are a POS, a piece of. And like I said, it is this deals with, Tom, not only just extortion of money, never paying thing, possible.
The documentary made its debut during the week of December 2nd, 2025. The 4-part series, each episode running close to an hour, was directed by Alex Stapleton and executive produced by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Almost immediately, it took over online discussion, drawing strong reactions from viewers across social media and news platforms. Netflix stood by the release, stating that all footage and material had been reviewed and approved through proper legal channels. Diddy and his legal team sharply disagreed. They accused the project of being slanted, misleading, and claimed that some material was used without authorization. A formal letter was sent to Netflix raising those concerns, but instead of slowing interest, the dispute appeared to draw even more attention to the series. The opening episode begins with a moment that quickly set the tone. It features footage recorded just days before Diddy's 2024 arrest, showing him inside a hotel room, speaking with his attorney, and expressing fear about what lay ahead. His team says the footage was taken improperly, while the filmmakers say it was obtained legally after his arrest. That disagreement alone sparked widespread debate. And as the series continues, the focus shifts to testimony. Former employees, security personnel, collaborators, and others who once worked closely within Diddy's circle describe what they witnessed. Some portray a culture centered on influence and access. Others recall situations where young women were allegedly placed under pressure in environments they did not fully grasp at the time. Several witnesses also said they noticed individuals who appeared very young entering these spaces. One former worker claimed that many of the women regularly present at certain properties looked barely beyond their early 20s. These statements are presented as allegations, and Diddy has denied all wrongdoing. Still, hearing these accounts side by side created a powerful effect that surprised even longtime followers. But to its core, the documentary raises a single unsettling question. How did so many people see troubling signs and yet remain silent for so many years? That question, more than any single claim, is what continues to drive discussion long after the final episode ends.
So you have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know
He did it.
you've been heavy on social
No, he
media
did it.
talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what's going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky. All of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal. You go to the 90s and Keefe D said they paid him to kill Tupac.
Yeah.
It's a little, like, you get the craziest accusations. You had TMZ created a docuseries, they went to Tubi, but the series is saying the downfall of Diddy.
You're one of the first persons in entertainment to really call out people and kind of have that authority in that, to be able to call people out. I mean, which is pretty amazing. You're kind of, in some ways, draining the swamp of Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't have a support system. I don't have a support system of a peer group of artists that I require to do what I'm doing. I've had to be on my own from the beginning. So I don't necessarily have a responsibility to behave a certain way, according to them. And look, if I didn't have an award-winning director doing it, if I hadn't put the right people in place to produce it properly, I wouldn't understand why they would question or doubt anything.
Although the documentary was created by a larger production team, one name continues to dominate the discussion: 50 Cent. For years, he had openly said he wanted to expose issues he believed the entertainment world avoided or ignored. When Diddy declined the opportunity to take part in a version of the project that would have allowed him more control, Netflix turned its attention to Curtis Jackson and his team. That decision sparked strong reactions. Some critics argue the move was driven by personal history, while supporters say it filled a gap that no one else was willing to address. What is clear, however, is the effect his involvement had. Several participants say they had tried to share their experiences before, but were dismissed or overlooked. Once 50 Cent became part of the production, the situation shifted. The project gained funding, attention, and a wider audience. More importantly, people who had stayed silent for years say they finally felt confident enough to speak. With a platform in place and public interest growing, stories that once struggled to be heard were suddenly impossible to ignore.
A new Netflix docuseries about Sean Diddy Combs is making headlines for its never-before-seen footage of the music mogul in the days before his arrest. Now, Combs is threatening legal action against the streamer for airing the unauthorized footage. Behind the series is Combs' longtime rap rival 50 Cent and director Alexandria Stapleton, who sat down with NBC News' Chloe Malas ahead of tonight's release.
Tonight, Netflix releasing never-before-seen video of Sean Diddy Combs filmed just days before his arrest on charges of trafficking and racketeering in 2024. The footage is part of a 4-part docuseries, Sean Combs: The Reckoning, premiering Tuesday. Behind the explosive documentary is Combs' longtime rival, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and director Alexandria Stapleton.
How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their sources.
The recordings give viewers an intimate look at Combs' mindset ahead of his criminal trial, even conversations with his legal team.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day. Perhaps. What was he intending to use it for?
I have no idea what he was doing that for.
I mean, you're talking about a man who films himself doing everything and has for decades. I think he wanted someone to be behind the scenes with him.
Combs' team firing back in a statement to NBC News today, saying the Netflix so-called documentary is a shameful hit piece and that they relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release. His team sending a cease and desist to Netflix. Netflix referring NBC News to a statement from Stapleton in which she said they lawfully obtained the footage. After a nearly 8-week trial, Combs was acquitted of the more serious charges of trafficking and racketeering and sentenced to 50 months in federal prison. for 2 counts of transportation to engage in. Combs' team going on to slam Netflix for partnering with 50 Cent, who they say has been his longtime public adversary, something the Grammy winner denied, citing his own casting choices in his popular Stars franchise, Power.
One could watch this and think that you really hate Sean Combs.
Why would you be thinking that?
Because of the things that you post on Instagram,
Yeah,
because
but this,
of the...
Look at this. And let's stop for a second and do say that I hated him enough to hire his kids. And we've never done anything to each other. So it's just competitive energy and things that you say about other artists while you're in hip-hop culture.
This documentary is one of several that has chronicled Combs' rise and fall, but Stapleton says theirs is different.
There's a lot of new information. No one had ever really put it together like that before.
For 50 Cent, he says he feels a sense of obligation.
Well, if I didn't say anything, you could assume that all of hip-hop culture is comfortable with his action.
And Chloe Malas joins us now in studio. Chloe, you've seen the whole documentary. What else can you tell us about it?
So there's a lot more of this never-before-seen footage, Tom, of Combs having really private conversations with his legal team, and you really get a sense of his mindset ahead of his criminal trial, which is really fascinating for me because he never did any sit-down interviews ahead of the trial. So you finally get to see what his strategy was and how worried he was. But clearly, perhaps he didn't think that he was going to go to prison because he's filming this documentary. You're also going to hear from Aubrey O'Day. She was in the girl band Danity Kane as part of making the band. She has an explosive allegation against Combs. And then there's quite a bit that focuses on the of Biggie and Tupac, and people from Combs' inner circle raising a lot of questions. People are going to also have a lot to say about that.
Although 50 Cent appears only briefly on screen, his presence shapes the documentary from start to finish. Behind the scenes, he helped open doors that had long been closed. His involvement supported access to interviews, production resources, and deeper reporting that had never been explored publicly before. This backing allowed the director to examine details that previous projects never reached. A key turning point comes in the 3rd episode. In that segment, several individuals share accounts of being drawn into situations through promises of professional growth, travel, or financial help. Their identities are not revealed, and the documentary takes steps to protect their privacy. Even so, the emotional weight of their experiences is unmistakable. Some described attending gatherings where they later felt unable to leave. Others said they felt compelled to stay quiet or comply because their future careers seemed to depend on it. A few witnesses also recalled noticing others who appeared very young, which raised serious questions. At the heart of these stories is one troubling issue: whether real freedom of choice truly existed. Many viewers say this is the point where the film shifts from surprising to deeply unsettling. Following the documentary's release, Diddy's legal representatives quickly pushed back. They argued the project was misleading, relied on selective viewpoints, and was influenced by his long-standing tension with 50 Cent. They also claimed their concerns had been dismissed before the film aired. Netflix responded by stating that all material went through proper legal review and that no participants were encouraged or compensated to damage anyone's reputation. While official statements continued, the most intense reaction unfolded online. Public debate spread rapidly, with viewers, commentators, and industry figures weighing in. What followed was not just a dispute over a documentary, but a wider conversation about accountability, power, and voices that had waited years to be heard.
I got like 3 or 4 pictures in the documentary that I've seen of myself. Some people say they saw more, but I know three different times where I was certain places that you could actually see me in the documentary, and that's the only thing you're going to get. But the stories that they told in the documentary, bro, come on. They could have went a whole lot deeper. They could have did a whole lot more. So I ain't in the documentary because that lady that was the director, I think, what's her name? Alex, Alex Stapleton. You know her name, Mighty? Yo, Mighty, just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look this up, all right? Okay. Her name is Alex Stapleton. The director that I spoke to was Alex Stapleton. She was the one who told me that she was the director, she was the producer, whatever, this, that, and the third, the whole 9 yards. And she was talking mad greasy to me. And listen here, it's no matter, after you talk that kind of talk to me, it's no amount of money she could have paid me anyway for me to get in there. You know, my story is more too valuable, you know, getting in depth with this whole stuff. And it would have helped that documentary a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? In actuality, they used all the stuff that I told them and did it the way that I was saying do it. Tim Dog started off with the childhood with Puff and the whole 9 yards. Kirk Burrows do the business part, but they was trying to put people in there like Mark Curry and other people to talk about the streets or what was going on, you know, a certain thing. But Mark can only say so much, you know what I'm saying, because he was an artist. You know, so he wasn't with Puff like I was with him during that time when we was running back and forth here and there and the whole 9 yards. So, you know, Miss Alex Stapleton is the one reason why I'm not in the documentary, but it's all right with me. I've been in a lot of documentaries. I did The Shine, I did the A&E, I did the Discovery Channel, I did the Fox. You know, I've been in a whole lot of different documentaries. And I'm always on the art of dialogue. So the people been getting most of the information from here anyway.
Yeah, man, you always on here, man. Always got to bring you on. So with that being said, man, I want to get right into the documentary, man. How you feel about the documentary, man? The behind the scenes footage they got of Diddy leading up to him getting arrested, and how you feel about all that, man?
Well, what I feel about the documentary, they left a whole lot of key things out. If they was going to do something and they're going to say in the reckoning of Sean Combs, the reckoning, or Diddy, the reckoning and stuff like that, it should have been a lot of people that we lost because of him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't only Big, it wasn't only Tupac, you understand? For the atmosphere that he put those kids in. You got a guy named Anthony Wolf Jones, who was from Bad Boy, from its conception, is doing security and being one of the financiers of Puff having to have some money to keep Big and Craig Mack around before he got to Clyde David.
Although 50 Cent appears only briefly on screen, his presence shapes the documentary from start to finish. Behind the scenes, he helped open doors that had long been closed. His involvement supported access to interviews, production resources, and deeper reporting that had never been explored publicly before. This backing allowed the director to examine details that previous projects never reached. A key turning point comes in the third episode. In that segment, several individuals share accounts of being drawn into situations through promises of professional growth, travel, or financial help. Their identities are not revealed, and the documentary takes steps to protect their privacy. Even so, the emotional weight of their experiences is unmistakable. Some described attending gatherings where they later felt unable to leave. Others said they felt compelled to stay quiet or comply because their future careers seemed to depend on it. A few witnesses also recalled noticing others who appeared very young, which raised serious questions. At the heart of these stories is one troubling issue: whether real freedom of choice truly existed. Many viewers say this is the point where the film shifts from surprising to deeply unsettling. Following the documentary's release, Diddy's legal representatives quickly pushed back. They argued the project was misleading, relied on selective viewpoints, and was influenced by his long-standing tension with 50 Cent. They also claimed their concerns had been dismissed before the film aired. Netflix responded by stating that all material went through proper legal review and that no participants were encouraged or compensated to damage anyone's reputation. While official statements continued, the most intense reaction unfolded online. Public debate spread rapidly, with viewers, commentators, and industry figures weighing in. What followed was not just a dispute over a documentary, but a wider conversation about accountability, power, and voices that had waited years to be heard.
I was a party favor.
What does that mean?
I was a party favor. I was somebody you could take off the table.
So you're telling me they set children?
I set children on a table.
Like Like when you go to a birthday party and they have gift bags for everybody that comes that have candy and toys in them, and they set them on the table. So you're telling me at the freak off parties, they put children on the table instead of gift bags, and then people can do what?
Take you off the table and have to, even though it's against the rules, to do certain things like their full health. Sometimes that's against the rules. Like for me, that was against the rules, but that didn't matter. That did not matter.
So they come choose you off the table, do whatever they want with you, and then what happens?
Then they put you back on the table.
They put you back on the table for somebody else to come choose you? Okay. That's called a party favor effect. That's just one of the little things that go on at the freak off parties with children. Were there animals there?
Goats.
Did they turn the animals loose on the kids?
Yeah.
And if you got sick and threw up because it was so disgusting, what happened?
You had to eat it.
You had to eat your vomit if you threw up. That's satanic ritual. Diddy was at this party? Denzel Washington was at this party?
Yep.
Birdman was at this party?
Yes, he was.
And Young Jock?
Yep.
And you're telling me Denzel was there and it was after 1 o'clock when he supposedly left?
And beanie, socks, and a gold chain.
So you're telling me Denzel Washington was... He had a beanie on, socks on, and a gold chain, and that's it. In front of children.
Yep.
Funny. Because he sure portrays himself to be holier than thou.
Yep. So a lot of them do.
I think you also told me that one of those men have a birthmark.
Left thigh.
One of those men have a birthmark on their left thigh. Did you have interactions with Diddy? Denzel? And I know we don't tell on Denzel. You might not tell on Denzel, but your mama gonna tell on everybody. I ain't keeping no secret. Denzel?
Yep.
Birdman? Did Birdman promise you things?
So much. Like what he promised Lil Wayne at a young age. Because you know we shared the system together. Shared birthday together too.
I know a lot of you have seen P. Diddy get guardianship of a lot of young kids.
One unidentified woman shared an account from her teenage years, explaining that she felt uneasy and pressured to remain at a gathering that turned out to be very different from what she had been led to expect. Another witness recalled seeing individuals who appeared unusually young, describing an environment that felt uncomfortable and concerning rather than celebratory. Separately, a singer who had spoken in a different documentary previously described witnessing troubling behavior at a party. After The Reckoning was released, her earlier comments resurfaced, adding new weight to an already intense public discussion. The documentary also looks back at earlier legal actions. Some of those cases involved claims from women who said they were minors at the time of certain alleged incidents. Not all of those cases followed the same path. Some were dropped, others remain unresolved, and several allegations were never confirmed in court. The film makes clear that these accounts are claims, not established facts. However, when these stories are viewed together, a consistent message emerges. Many of the women involved said they felt powerless, unheard, and unprotected. That shared experience is what has stayed with viewers long after the documentary ends, shaping a conversation that continues to grow rather than fade.
I want to get a lawyer on to sort of confirm it, but I got to be honest, I'm kind of shocked that you'd think, well, this should all be included. Should it not?
Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said. Let's just, here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is...
Like, the way he's bossing around these high-powered lawyers is so revealing.
Part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer...
Look at that smile. Look at that smile. Oh,
Curtis
he's loving
Diddy
this.
Jackson, titled Sean Combs, The Reckoning. Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching?
I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account and how he was coming off to the public.
We knew that was coming, by the way, because we learned that throughout as he was using his own kids to post birthday messages, etc. Like, this guy wants to control everything.
The exclusive video also shows Combs in Harlem greeting fans.
He's like, oh yeah, look at all these. This was yeah, what's up? Let me shake your hands. Yeah, let me take this. He thrives in this. This is, yeah, when people recognize him. What up? Like, barely anybody there. He's like, yeah, everybody's here looking at me. He's like the quarterback that can never graduate, it feels like to me.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath.
I've been in the streets amongst people. I gotta take a bath. He's like horrified. He's disgusted by it.
Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do.
I have to do it. Not like, oh, that was so great, I loved it. I have to do it.
You know what I'm saying? Oh. It's like 150 hugs.
He's got to take those 150 hugs. Now, that's when she asked, like, 50 Cent, why'd you include this?
Like, I need to wash. Like, I'm dirt. That was, it show you his character.
Was that the reason for including it?
Yeah. I mean, what's the odds that you would do that in front of the camera? Like, that's one of the moments where he forgot he was on tape.
I think he does that a lot, surprisingly. I think he just lives his life with cameras. He was filming his most intimate moments, allegedly, with these freak-offs, right? Revealing his true self and the most, aggressive side of himself. He didn't care.
I respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform.
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right? For 20 years, right? It's me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping, or I looked at it like it was like a tester. Like, maybe you'll come play with me type of thing, right? And it's not personal.
I think it's important.
And she chimes in too, but I want to, just before we hear her pop, he said, what a feud. I put 2 of his kids in my scripted TV shows. I just didn't like, he said, Fruity S to me, and he said Fruity S to me. I don't like that, LOL. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it. He just said it, I think, very clearly. Look, he was testing me. Are you in? Are you into play? Are you going to play along with me? Can I have some fun with you? I do think, clearly was it. Can you be my Paul? Is what he's trying to figure out.
One of the most powerful elements of the documentary is not only what is being alleged, but how long those claims went unspoken. For years, Diddy stood at the top of the music and entertainment world, holding enormous influence across business and culture. Many people understood that challenging someone in that position could come at a serious cost, including lost opportunities, damaged careers, or personal risk. That fear created a culture of silence. In The Reckoning, several former insiders explain how the industry often chose self-preservation over accountability. They describe an environment where protecting reputations and relationships took priority over speaking up for young performers or vulnerable individuals. A former manager explains that success in entertainment depends heavily on connections, and anyone who threatened the system could quickly find themselves shut out. Others admit they witnessed situations that made them uneasy but chose not to step in. They tell of convincing themselves it was not their role to interfere, especially when contracts, careers, and future prospects were on the line. Some participants also acknowledge that they stayed quiet because they believe someone else would take responsibility or that legal teams would intervene if something was truly wrong. Looking back, many now say that assumption was part of the problem. Their silence, shared by many others, allowed troubling patterns to continue without challenge.
Documentaries by this point, Diddy and 50 Cent have had a long-standing beef, and 50 Cent was trolling Diddy throughout the entire trial. Those AI memes on his Instagram were crazy work, but this doc also has something else. It has never before seen footage of Diddy right up to the point he was arrested, and we also hear from 2 of the jurors. In July, just a reminder, Diddy was convicted on 2 charges of transportation to engage in but found not guilty of the more serious charges, that's racketeering with conspiracy and trafficking. He is now serving a 50-month prison sentence and has said he will appeal. In a cease and desist letter sent on Monday, lawyers for Mr. Combs demanded that Netflix withdraw the series, contending the footage had been illicitly provided to the streaming service in violation of contractual agreements. The letter asserted that running the footage would be a copyright violation and that it likely contained privileged communications between Mr. Combs and his legal counsel. Netflix say the footage was legally obtained. Just a warning, this episode contains strong language and content some listeners might find upsetting. If you have been a victim of or you want some support, details of help and support are available at bbc.co.uk/action line. Today, I'm very happy to say that we have Cheyenne Roundtree, Rolling Stone's senior investigative reporter, joining us once again. Welcome back, Cheyenne.
Hi, good to see you.
It's lovely to have you back. We've had the end of a trial, you got married, there's been a lot going on, but here we are, something that 50 Cent promised, he's delivered upon. It is a long documentary, 4 hours, 4 parts. The wildest thing to me is the footage of Diddy just days before his arrest, talking to his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo. Listeners will know Mark Agnifilo was lead counsel, and he led the closing arguments, which finished 2 rounds of applause at the trial. In the footage, Diddy's making plans, calling people involved in the case, cases against him, civil cases and the federal case. It really is extremely intimate. Cheyenne, tell us some of the stuff that we see.
Where to begin? I think what you kind of take away from this is just like how Diddy's mind works a little bit. You see him strategizing with his attorneys about social media reach and thinking already ahead of before he's even arrested how to reach potential jurors. And he's telling his team, like, don't just be going on CNN. You got to meet the audience, the potential jurors where they're at. You have to go on Instagram and TikTok. And then he pivots later and he does a tour of Harlem, his old neighborhood, and he's hanging out with people. He's smiling. He's taking shots at bars. Like, he's really immersing himself back where he grew up with the people that, you know, he kind of, his hometown, his home turf. And then he gets in a car and he's like, I gotta have some hand sanitizer. I have to take a bath. And then another one, you see a lawsuit from Don Richard drop, and that was one of his former artists at Diddy Dirty Money. And you see him react in real time to someone accusing him of misconduct, of battery, of groping her, of alleging things that happened during her time in the group. And you see him react and rage in real time, and the wheels start spinning of how do we counteract this. And he has his lawyers dig up old clips of her saying how much she loved this time. And so it's just this real kind of veil lift of how his mind was working 6 days, literally 6 days before he was arrested in that very same hotel room he was strategizing with his team.
Don Richard accused him of grabbing and groping her, of being inappropriate, of witnessing against Cassie, of being basically a boss. And I mean, he flat out denied this from the beginning of that lawsuit being filed, but we see the response there.
When it's filed, you know, when someone says this happened XYZ, and you know that they had a close relationship, obviously his team will deny that this happened, but you see him deny it in that moment, saying this is lies. He curses, and he adamantly rejects her entire account, and in real time is like, this didn't happen. And it's kind of interesting to see someone react to accusations.
The documentary also highlights how major platforms, award ceremonies, and media organizations praise Diddy for for years without closely examining the concerns that quietly circulated behind closed doors. Many insiders say there was an uneasy feeling that followed him, yet few were willing to challenge a name that carried so much influence. His brand had grown larger than any single critic, making questions feel risky and unwelcome. That'd be why the time legal claims began to surface publicly. Years of warning signs had already been buried under praise and success. This reality leads to an uncomfortable reflection. How many people noticed something felt wrong, but chose stability over responsibility? And how many of those choices left young individuals feeling powerless and unheard? Sean Combs. The reckoning forces open a conversation the industry worked hard to avoid. Whether viewers support the documentary or criticize it, its impact cannot be dismissed. For the first time, voices from different eras are speaking together, describing a system that many believe was built to shield those at the top rather than protect those at risk. The discussion it has sparked continues to ripple far beyond the screen.
In 2023, Netflix either approached or there was a conversation between Netflix and Diddy's team about doing a documentary in 2023. Now, Cassie's lawsuit was filed in November of 2023. We don't know if this is before or after, but clearly a conversation about a documentary happened at some point. Cut to September 2024, Diddy is planning his own documentary, or he's planning something to use with the footage for a later thing. Who knows what, but we can assume that it's for a project down the line, capturing what's happening. And he hired a videographer to capture these intense moments. He tells the videographer to get shots of policemen across the street on a rooftop, like kind of almost directing this footage, building up to this narrative of, you know, hopefully winning this case and beating this and showing this pressure he was under. But somehow that footage that was being taken landed up at Netflix, and Netflix said that they obtained it legally. They went at lengths to hide who the person is. And they say they were within their complete rights to have obtained this footage and to air it. Diddy's team, like you said, is saying, no, he never authorized this to be used in this manner.
And the idea that there was a conversation between Diddy and Netflix comes from the cease and desist letter by his legal representation saying, you know, this is, you doing this is vindictive because he didn't go into business with you. Now you've gone to 50 Cent, who is denying that there's a feud now, which is quite funny. You've gone to 50 Cent, who has been a long time, shall we say, hater or critic of Diddy, to exec produce this. That's clearly corporate retribution. But they've also called it a shameful hit piece. They say, as Netflix and CEO Ted Sarandos know, Mr. Combs has been amassing footage since he was 19 to tell his own story in his own way. I mean, Diddy has always been fond, and I'm not making a joke here about the freak-offs, he has always been fond of recording himself.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the archives of what he's done, there's archival footage, there is like newspaper clippings, and he did his own documentary about Bad Boy Reunion Tour that happened in 2016, that released in 2017. There's another, he's always had someone around filming him, whether it's for social media or for maybe just footage for eventually whenever he does a huge telling of his life again. So it's not strange that he was filming himself during this time. I mean, why wouldn't you? But it's also just kind of startling to see. It's something that was clearly not meant to be released just yet by kind of who he calls an adversary.
I mean, they say if Netflix cared about the truth or his legal rights, they wouldn't rip private footage out of context, and conversations with his lawyers, which we're going to touch on in a minute about what that means. But we approached Netflix to respond to the allegation that the footage was stolen. They said the claims being made about Sean Combs' The Reckoning are false. The project has no ties to any past conversations between Sean Combs and Netflix. The footage of Combs leading up to his indictment and arrest were legally obtained. Speaking about the footage, the documentary's director, Alexandra Stapleton, said, "It came to us, we obtained the footage legally, and we have the necessary rights." There is a question here about privileged information. For listeners not au fait with that terminology, what does that mean?
Diddy has continued to reject every claim made against him. His legal team maintains that all interactions were voluntary and that he has never caused harm. They argue the documentary presents a one-sided picture. Netflix, on the other hand, states that the project went through full legal review before release. Meanwhile, 50 Cent says the goal was simple: to allow information that had been hidden for years to finally reach the public. Still, the larger issue goes beyond well-known names. At the center of this discussion are young women who say they felt pressured, misled, or placed into situations they did not fully understand. If their accounts are accurate, it raises serious questions about the environments they were drawn into and the systems that surrounded them. Now that these testimonies have been seen and heard, attention turns to what comes next. Will more people step forward? Will institutions respond differently than they did in the past? Those questions remain unanswered. The conversation is far from over. Share your thoughts below, and if you want to stay informed on stories like this, follow the channel for future updates. Until next time, stay aware and stay engaged.